What up guys, today we're going to be reacting to Death Battle's video of Bill Cipher versus Discord. Like I said last time, I was going to check this one out because I do know Bill Cipher. I know he's very powerful and he's from Gravity Falls. And he has a pretty unique, powers and abilities. Even though he's from the second dimension and, when you do like dimensional tiering and stuff like that, the lower the dimension the beings from there should be weaker, but for some reason in Gravity Falls, even though he's a two-dimensional being, he's able to manipulate the third dimension, which doesn't make much sense, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Bill Cipher, I know he's very powerful. I've heard of Discord, I just didn't know much about him. I didn't know where he was from, but apparently he's from My Little Pony. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see who's going to win. I'm going to go with Bill Cipher, even though I don't know enough about Discord. I'm just going to go based off of him, not because I know who's going to win per se, but just specifically because I actually know him and I've seen his abilities. He might lose, but like I said, I don't really know anything about Discord to say how powerful he is. So yeah, this one's going to be pretty interesting to see. And yes, I know I don't upload as frequently as I should, but it's just like I said before, I'm not going to upload videos if I don't have anything to make a video on, because I want to make more creative videos for you guys, not just pump out videos for no reason. So if there's interesting videos for me to react to, I'll definitely do that. And if there's any topics that I want to talk about and discuss with you guys, I'll also do that. But I just don't have anything interesting to talk about, so that's why I didn't do it. But before we get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to a couple of new subscribers. One by the name of Chrono, Derek McLovin, and Logan Lovejoy. And I'm yep, that's it. So a big thank you to you three for subscribing to this channel. It means a lot. Now, with that being said, let's get into this.
Deep within the forests of Central Oregon rests the rustic lumber town of Gravity Falls.
Oh, hey, there's old man McGucket. And would you look at that Mayor Befumplethumter? And who could forget that little polished turd, giddy and gleeful?
But despite its looks, Gravity Falls is less Mayberry and more Twin Peaks. I've been studying what I call the unified theory of weirdness. Much like gravity, weirdness acts as a force, warping space and attracting bizarre phenomena to certain areas.
Like the Bermuda Triangle or Denny's at 3 a.m.
And Gravity Falls is one of those places. In fact, it's the largest weirdness magnet in the entire world.
Rainbow vomiting gnomes, the fearsome multi-bear, the dilapidated mystery shack, and most terrifying of all, a trillion-year-old alien spoken of only in whispers, the foulest creature to ever blaspheme upon this beautiful land, Bill Cipher. No, actually doesn't look so bad. I like his little hat.
Don't.
Okay, so his name. They're doing some cool visual stuff with him because he did have weird reality warping powers. We don't know to the full extent. I do know that in the town that he was in, Gravity Falls, he was able to manipulate that, and they did create a magical barrier that protected him from the rest of the world. We do know he can alter the Earth itself, but I don't know to what extent. They'll probably give us more crazier feats. So he's 1 trillion years old. He's way older than the universe itself, because our universe is like 13.8 billion years old. Has possessed George Washington, Stanley Kubrick, really, and Alex Hershik, robbed by Sands in Tumblr, Sexy Man Pole. What the fuck? But okay.
Be fooled by Bill's goofy demeanor. Underneath the deadpan one-liners lies the cold black heart of a genocidal madman.
After obliterating his home dimension and killing everyone in it, Bill was on the run from the interdimensional authority, so he settled in the chaotic nightmare realm, turning it into his own personal kingdom.
But he quickly set his sights on an even bigger prize. Our own universe. Unable to break through the dimensional barriers on his own, he spent millennia trying to trick poor, unsuspecting humans to open the front door.
And if Bill escapes, all of reality is screwed.
He is a being made of pure energy, able to craft a physical body out of nothing and then change that shape to grow to planetary scales. He can regenerate any part of himself, including his own spirit.
Bill can move objects with his mind, duplicate himself, and see into the future. He can bring inanimate objects to life, shoot lasers and fire, and control your dreams like Freddy Krueger.
But Bill isn't just some magician. He can warp reality as much as he pleases.
He controls space, matter, gravity, time, and can even mess with the fourth wall.
Though he's most known for his control over souls. He can see and interact with normally invisible spirits, blow holes through them, and even eradicate them from existence. And should an unwitting pawn make a deal with the Dream Demon, he can possess their bodies. Which would have been good to know when I started talking to him.
Finally! I've been watching you two boobs for a while. The pyramids, the dollar bill, anything made in my image, I can see through. I see everything!
Yay, new co-host!
Oh, why does my jaw hurt?
Well, it wasn't long before Bill came upon Gravity Falls and the Pines family, namely the brilliant scientist Stanford Pines, who spent decades traveling the multiverse to find a way to defeat Bill for good, after almost accidentally unleashing him in the first place.
Turns out it would be his niece and nephew, twins Mabel and Dipper Pines, who would end up being Bill's greatest enemies. Hard to believe, perhaps.
Especially when Bill finally managed to, his way through the walls of our cosmos and enter Gravity Falls, reaching his full power and kicking off. Weird Monkey! That's my line! We've got hench maniacs on the loose, madness bubbles flying every which way, making things go all kinds.
Destroyed his own universe, conquered the Nightmare Realm, imperial existence via dimensional rifts, started Weirdmageddon in Gravity Falls, changed the Gravity Falls theme song, created the Maybelline Pocket Dimension, outsmarted Ford, Dipper, Bland, and more, defeated Stanford Pines, Gilbert. Yeah, so like I said, it's weird because he's a two-dimensional being. He even stated his dimension was a second dimension. So I guess in our terms, if we were to go there, we could destroy the second dimension if we're going by actual tiering. But they did it backwards for some reason. They made it more of a being from a lower dimension somehow is able to affect and have more power in the higher dimension, because we should be in a higher dimension than him since he's in the second dimension. So it made no sense that he was able to affect it. I just thought that was weird. The Nightmare Realm is like the imaginary realm, or like the one where you dream, like they said. So he could control it and he could do what he wanted there. That's what he did to Mabel, and they had to break her out by going into her mind, and she had to accept the fact that she had to leave. So she was kind of trapping herself in there personally. So yeah, like he's very powerful. It's just we didn't get to see to the full extent because he was kind of trapped with a magical spell or whatever. So I'm guessing magic does work on him. He is very powerful, but he does have his limitations. And the way they beat him was tricky. It wasn't like conventional means. They basically tricked him to get into their grandpa's mind, thinking he was getting back into his brother's mind, which he was pretending to be him. He got into him, so he couldn't tell the difference. So there's some weakness there, you know. He can't even tell the difference between some characters if you hide. So you can trick him, definitely. And as he got in his mind, they used this one gun that erases memories. Since he was trapped in his memory, they erased him from the memory. So it's different, ways to beat him. But that's a very complex way to beat him. It's not very conventional, like just obliterating him. So he's going to be a lot more tougher than just, a conventional enemy.
Kinds of crazy, and a weirdness wave threatening to warp all of reality.
And not just our universe. Without the Nightmare Realm holding him back, given enough time, Bill's power threatened the multiverse.
And given his control over time and space, Bill can move as fast as he damn well pleases, especially when his mind can view an infinite kaleidoscope of possibilities all at once. As Bill says himself, he exists in a state of quantum uncertainty. With help.
Right. Similar to Erwin Schrödinger's hypothetical cat, Bill exists in two possible states at once, perpetually unresolved. Everything he is also not.
Though he has one great weakness: unicorn hair. Yes, actually, what are the odds?
Similar to garlic or silver, unicorn hair serves as a key ingredient to barriers that can block otherworldly beings like Bill, which can also drain them of their power. While unicorn hair barriers did prevent Bill from breaking into the Shacktron, they failed to nullify his magic.
His actual greatest weakness is his unbelievable ego.
His complete and utter disdain for humanity ultimately proved to be the opening the Pines needed.
Tricked into entering the mind of Ford's scumbag brother Stanley just as it was being erased, Bill invoked the almighty axolotl in a desperate bid to survive.
Bill's prayers were answered, but in a way he never expected. He would be reincarnated in another form and another time.
Where exactly? No one knows, but we can only hope that this equilateral enemy of all that's holy and decent is never coming back.
Once upon a time, Equestria was under attack, plagued by the rampaging spirit of disharmony, whose only goal was to spread chaos and unhappiness throughout the land.
Until the twin princesses of the sun and moon, Celestia and Luna, used the all-powerful elements of harmony to turn him to stone. Kicking the can down the road, I see. Lots of luck!
Yes, because as with seemingly all magical prisons, it didn't last forever. Eventually, this being of madness and destruction broke free. Discord had returned.
Now I know what you're thinking. Dear Lord, what in good God's name is that thing?
Discord is a Draconicus, or dragon horse, and also deer, goat, snake, lion, eagle, lizard, and a bat.
All part of a complete balanced breakfast. Despite looking like a build-a-bear grab bag, he doesn't seem so bad. Kind of annoying, but in a lovable Mon Capitan kind of way.
There's certainly some truth in that. While initially one of our pony's most potent foes, Discord is not inherently evil, just chaotic.
A big jolly jerk that sets fire to things that can't burn, just like me.
It's not like you to find a lot of common ground with My Little Pony. I mean, you're usually like, the only good pony is the horse meat ma sandwich.
That's disgusting, Wiz. Horse meat goes in burritos. But really, having a daughter changes a man. It softens your cold, hard edges. Kinda like with Discord, who became best buddies with the pony Fluttershy, and I guess pals with everyone else by default. Fluttershy is best pony.
Discord is chaos incarnate and is empowered by causing as much pandemonium as possible. Likewise, if he betrays his true nature, it can cause his soul to weaken and possibly cause him to fade away entirely.
Not a problem when his powers allow him to mess stuff up as much as he likes. He's a full-on reality warper and plays with the laws of physics like they were silly putty.
Discord can manipulate space by teleporting, reshaping his body, and transmuting matter. He can mess with your mind and erase your memories. He can control time and travel through it. He can even remove mathematical dimensions, turning objects 2D.
He also has instant access to powerful items such as Grogar's Bewitching Bell, which can drain foes of their magic power and transfer it to others.
Phasing, clones, possession, invisibility, the list goes on. He can move the sun and moon and rip apart the fabric of reality. And if his physical body is destroyed, he can keep going as a spirit.
Honestly, it'd be quicker to list off all the things Discord can't do. Starting with, the end.
He can do anything he can think of, even obliterate the fourth wall. He's turned the page of the comic he's on, talked directly to the reader, referenced everything from Bob Ross to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and even changed the very genre of the story he's in.
Oh, my boomstick sense is tingling. I'm matured enough to appreciate the cupcakes and rainbows, Wiz. But there's no amount of character development that will ever make me ready for another Deadpool. Ah, damn it.
Oh, please. Any similarity is down to your line producer refusing to greenlight complex animation. I should be just as insulted by your attempt to force me into dreary fisticuffs. But when it comes to my geometric rival, I'm not about to be upstaged.
Well, I find it fascinating that you seem to draw energy from disharmony. I'd love to study how it played a part in freeing you from internal imprisonment and even in resubstantiating your very essence.
Well, if all you want is to experience substantiation.
What the? Ah! God, no! No! Emotionally?
I don't think anybody could.
Oh, look!
Able to rip the very fabric of reality, brought Sunborough back to life, caused disharmony throughout Astria, flew interstellar distance fast enough to time travel, cord tanked a blast from the elements of harmony, brought a completely with dimension, defeated. Okay, I mean, these are usually changed the genre of the MLP manga. Really? They have a My Little Pony manga? So, okay, both these characters, most of their feats are dimensional stuff, and it pertains to their world, so it's a little bit more complex. I think you have to see the series to know a little more, but even in Gravity Falls, when it came to Bill Cipher, he wasn't shown for that long, so we didn't really get to see the full extent of his ability, because they were trying to stop him, so they were holding him back a lot, and only towards the ending did they, did he show a little bit more of his power, but he was still focusing on Earth. We don't know how it would have been if he went all out. So yeah, he didn't get the chance to show that. And this character too, but this character is a little bit different than Bill's one. Bill's character is more like a serious character, even though he's also from a cartoon that's for kids. He's a lot more serious, and his, you know, powers are more, even though they're crazy, it's more written in a serious way. Whereas this character seems more like goofy, like childish, like how you would see when you watch a classic cartoon where they have more like Toon Force. And I never, Toon Force is one of those things that people argue that it's basically reality warping. But the only reason we call it reality warping is because the writers just write whatever random shit they do just for fun. So then we're like, well, to make this sound more realistic, or like, you know, give it some grounds, we say that it's you know, reality warping. And there's a video that Surfbone did on this. I didn't watch the whole thing, but he talked about it a bit, and he was talking about how he doesn't take Toon Force characters seriously. I didn't watch it because it was like over an hour, but he said he doesn't take Toon Force characters seriously because he said Toon Force is not really a power ability. It's just something that the fans thought of saying, because when we see characters in like classic cartoons, they did some outlandish stuff. So instead of just saying it doesn't make any sense and it's just BS, they try to give it some validity by arguing that this is actually reality warping. Which I do agree with him that I don't consider it reality warping when they have Toon Force. I just consider it being not serious, and I don't really take it serious into battle. But in this fight, they're going to be doing that. So that's the clear-cut difference between Bill. Bill's abilities are directly reality warping and has to do with, like, you know, dimensionality, whereas Discord is more just goofy Toon Force, which is just generic classic cartoon stuff, which doesn't really matter. And for me personally, I would never use that in debates because it's not like reality warping. It's just something that the fans want to call reality warping because it doesn't make any sense any other way. Whereas Bill's this is his actual power system, so it is a little wonky in that.
Look, blissful ignorance at the bottom of this can.
With Discord's powers, Pinkie Pie could have turned the entire universe into icing. What that meant for the laws of physics is anyone's guess.
He's basically at the top of the pony power hierarchy, even compared to the alternate reality threat, the Pony of Shadows, who could overrun all existence in the multiverse given enough time, or his ex-partner Cosmos, literally malice incarnate with identical powers, whom he sealed away in the stars.
Discord once flew from the Horsehead Nebula to Equestria, and kept accelerating so much he went backwards in time.
Now it's just him trying to make it to tea time with his bestie.
But Discord's power may be his greatest weakness. Since almost nothing can threaten him, his carefree attitude can leave him vulnerable to being caught off guard. Like when Tirek, the magic-devouring demon centaur, tricked Discord and stole his powers.
Even still, Discord has shed his villainous past and been made an honorary hero, happy to help out his pony pals from time to time. Or occasionally make things worse.
That's what you get when you're best friends with the spirit of chaos incarnate. I would know.
Aw, buddy, get over here.
Yeah, that's... no, not the noogie.
No big deal. I've done this once already. Wanna make a deal? KO!
Hey, that's my line!
Public service announcement. If a yellow triangle in a top hat offers you a Faustian bargain, please do not accept. He might be angry at us.
This fight was almost dead even. They can both manipulate...
Okay, both can affect the laws of physics. Both can manipulate their medium and genre. Okay. Oh, so their own, you know, reality from their shows. Because that's like the thing about reality warping. People say they can warp all of reality, but the thing is it because they have the ability to just warp reality, or their own universe's reality due to how it's, like, you know, the cosmology works? So that's very important to take into consideration when you talk about reality warpers. Because some characters, they say they might have the ability to warp reality, but it depends on how the cosmology is structured, and it's like, we control this energy source that you know, is embedded in the universe, but that energy source might not be embedded in or a part of another fictional universe. So just because they can manipulate the universe through manipulating that energy source itself means that they can connect to that energy source, not the other source from other universes. I know it's a little bit it's a little unclear because I'm not going very in depth in it because it's really situational. It's case by case. It really depends on how they describe it. It says both resisted mental attacks and temporal altercations. Discord can turn things 2D. Bill can turn himself from 2D to 3D at will, which he was from the two-dimensional universe. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense that he could affect the third dimension. I don't think the writers knew how the dimensionality thing worked, because in reality he should be weaker than us. We would be above him. They did explain it decently well, but his power wouldn't make sense. Both can turn their body to and from stone at will, countering petrification. Both can teleport and duplicate themselves. Yes, but they also seem to both have the ability to be affected by magic, which is crazy because they have all this crazy reality warping power, but specific magic can affect them, like the unicorn hairs blocking his damage because he couldn't do anything to them while they're in the shack, and then that guy being turned into stone and being stopped for a while, and then now he came back out. So they both are, one is cocky, the other one is just very carefree, so they both can be tricked, and both of them can be trapped, but I guess there's no real way to 100% defeat them, but also magic does work against them if you use complex magic.
Space and time to such a degree that speed is essentially meaningless, and both at their peak could control.
Both can turn intangible, interact with intangible things, so yeah, they can phase and stuff. Both Bill would not enter Discord's mind if there's nothing there he wants. That's true. He does it for like possession and to like see through their mind, but if like the guy knows it's not going to really work on him. Discord will not willingly accept a deal from Bill. Yeah, he doesn't need to. Most other abilities cancel out or can be countered because they do have similar abilities, so it should make sense. Despite having countless powers, both only have a few feasible win conditions. That's true. When you have both similar powers, it's kind of hard to win, even if you have a ton of them. And a lot of their powers is just really reality warping. They seem to have a lot, but they do use it very conventionally. They don't use it too drastically. And I think Bill's is more violent than the other guys. The other guys is more just goofy, but yet they gave him the win, and I don't know why specifically, but I'm just going to go through more of their explanation.
Their universes, possibly even the multiverse.
Sure, Discord could potentially drain Bill's energy with the bewitching bell, but remember the Shacktron?
While the unicorn hair barrier stopped Bill from entering, its magic nullifying aura was not effective on him. If he wasn't drained of his power by extensive contact with that, it's unlikely the bell would do the same.
So with two characters who can do basically anything, how would they even kill each other?
Both can restore their bodies from nothing, but only Bill has been shown regenerating damage to his spirit. Likewise, even in a weakened state, Bill has been able to manipulate and damage spirits himself, which is extremely useful considering we know fully erasing Discord will kill him.
While Discord's trickery may frustrate Bill for a while, his ability to see an infinite kaleidoscope and literally tell the future would let him cut through the tricks and vaporize him, body and soul.
Now, it is worth remembering that Bill has been defeated before, when he was trapped in a mind that was being erased.
And Discord had all the tools to replicate something like that.
However, that scenario relied on Bill's tunnel vision on invading Ford Pine's mind specifically, as well as his myopic underestimation of us lowly humans. Against other cosmic beings like Time Baby, he went.
Sorry, I think I'm confused because from what they showed, it looked like he lost, but I'm guessing he won? What is happening? Because all the arguments they're making is for Bill winning. So did Bill actually win? That's weird. Okay, I'm just going to let them play. Like I said again, I don't have really much to say about those other things. He can manipulate souls and destroy it, and they said that he can be affected by existence erasure. His one was more like, not going against his nature, so he has to follow the rules of chaos. If he goes against it, he'll be wiped out. But I guess if you have the ability to like wipe out people from existence, like a Hakai technique, then you could do that to him too. Bill, he can regenerate from soul damage, but we don't know to what extent. Yes, he can regenerate, but that doesn't mean you can regenerate fully. So who knows, maybe if you obliterate his soul, you can completely get rid of Bill too, like if you wipe out his soul. But it's probably harder to do to him because one, he does have manipulation over soul, so he would have some level of defense for his soul, and he can also attack soul, so it's easier for him to attack somebody's soul and defend his soul than it is for somebody else to do it against him, unless they have literally an ability like Hakai or something that can erase it fully. Then I think that's a way to beat him. But in this case, between Discord, he has the better chance of erasing his soul than Discord has against him. But like I said, I'm confused. I thought they said the Discord won.
For the kill immediately.
For the record, Discord has been tricked in the past too. They've both had their fair share of embarrassing moments, and they're both smarter than their mistakes at their best. The real difference is that Discord is consistently more carefree in his approach. He's used to being superior to those around him, and has been shown not to take threats seriously until it's too late.
Like with Tirek, another crafty manipulator.
Okay, I guess I read that wrong. I guess because usually when they show the person, oh, I guess he survived, but he was trapped in a dimension, so I thought he lost because of that. So I guess he won. Yeah, okay, I was right. Bill Cipher won. It makes sense, like I said, because there's nothing that shows me that this guy would beat Bill, and they seem to make more arguments for Bill, so I'm guessing that was the case. So you guys probably think, like, is he stupid? I did skip the fight, like I said. I only stayed to a little bit of the end part, so I didn't know fully. Usually they just say straight up who won, so sorry for that. It says Bill's more powerful, yep. Can regenerate from all physical and some spiritual damage. See, so he can regenerate from physical because he's not actually a physical being. He's more like a metaphysical being. So spiritually, yes, you can wipe him out. It's just that since he has the ability to manipulate souls, he should have some level of defense. So doesn't have perfect nullification against like spiritual attacks, but he does have some defense there, which the other guy does not. So he physically, you cannot beat him, but if you can wipe out his soul, so you have soul damaging attacks, then you can kill him. More bloodthirsty and ruthless, yes, he's more of a villain, whereas the other guy was just more chaotic. Equally has counters to most abilities because they have similar abilities. Complete spiritual erasure could kill him. So yes, if you wipe out his soul completely, so you use like a technique like Hakai, which wipes out everything, the physical and the metaphysical, then yes, you could kill him that way. Or if you just have a soul wiping attack, you can bypass the physical and then wipe that out and destroys him. Arrogance can be the best of him. Yes, a lot of these characters, when they make them overpowered, they have to beat them through arrogance. Physical regeneration makes him hard to kill. Okay. But he doesn't have the soul thing. Far more creative with his abilities. Okay, that makes sense. That's good. Equal, less powerful, lacks regeneration, feast beyond physical damage. So yeah, he lost his body. He has his spirit, but like I said, if you just wipe out his spirit, then he would be dead and could not deliberately debilitate Bill by draining his powers. I said deliberately for some reason. Debilitate. Yeah, you can't drain his powers. Like the magic, the unicorn thing worked against him, but it wasn't. It still couldn't drain his magic.
Manipulative schemer, kind of like Bill.
With his trillion years of reality-destroying malevolence, Bill was able to take advantage of Discord's carefree attitude and get the opportunity to land a killing blow first.
Discord was incredibly powerful, unpredictable, and fearsomely persistent, but Bill's powers and ruthless instincts gave him the edge he needed.
Discord could try every angle, but Bill just had his eye on the prize.
Let me out or I'll eat your dreams!
The winner is Bill Cipher.
Yeah, look out,
You've got a ballot button in.
So that was the end of Death Battles, Bill Cipher versus Discord. I was a little confused because, like I said, I skipped the fight, so I didn't know. I thought they were trying to say Discord won because I don't know why. Bill was alive, obviously, so I should have assumed that. For some reason, when I saw that and they said he was trapped in a dimension, I thought that's how you beat him. But I forgot, in these death battles, they don't just say, oh, you trapped them in a dimension, you win. You have to completely obliterate them. So I was 100% right about Bill. Like I said, I didn't know enough about Discord to 100% say it, but I did have a feeling that he would win from, how people talk about him more. And his abilities, so it makes sense that he would be the winner of they hyped up his abilities to a higher extent. But they both have high level reality warping. They're pretty powerful, but like I said, the other guy's biggest problem is he can be physical damage he can handle, but spiritual damage, we haven't seen anything to show that. Even though both of them have the weakness to magic, like if you have high level magic, you can beat them. They also can be tricked, but he's more aggressive. He can regenerate not only his body but also his spirit and has spirit hacks, whereas the other guy only has physically can regenerate and he can use his spirit, but if you attack his spirit he can't really regenerate from that. And they do have reality warping, but not one of them had it higher than the other, so there's nothing more special about one side over the other. But both characters are pretty interesting, both very powerful. Now I'm very excited for the next matchup, where it's Cole McGrath versus Alex Mercer. Cole McGrath is from Infamous and Alex Mercer is from Prototype. I remember both these games came out around the same time. People were saying they're similar, though the Infamous series got way more popularity than the Prototype series. I never really played Prototype. I have played Infamous and I love that game. Cole is very powerful, so I'm excited to see that one. I'm definitely going to check that out. I do remember that they had a list of battles that they were going to be doing when they have like a poll of it and stuff for the next season, and this was one of them, and this was ones that I was really excited for. So since it's the next one, and it's coming out on the 25th, which is like in 14 days, which is not that far off. So that's pretty cool. I can't wait for that one. Though I'm voting for Cole with that one because from what I've seen from the Infamous one with him fighting against his future self, all the crazy abilities that he had from the future that he was able to obtain, and even from the past because he was able to surpass his future self, just showcasing craziness, teleporting through time, taking out the energy out of people's bodies and stuff like that. I don't know enough about Alex Mercer because, like I said, never played a prototype game. I've never even seen gameplay of the game, so I don't know fully on what he can do, but I do know he has some weird like parasitic mutation, so he can control his body to do different things. But I think Cole is just his electric abilities. I've never seen any character with electric abilities that's more powerful than him or more versatile than what he could do. And I'm not saying more powerful in the sense of just like most high output. There's obviously other characters like that, like Black Lightning and Static Shock, but I mean like versatility and craziness of his abilities. I've never seen anybody do that with electricity. It's just wild. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.